So, hello everybody. Today's guest is actually Kapil Vashisht, who is currently in India. He's working in Tesco. Tesco is UK's largest retailer, and Kapil is working in the Indian offices. And he's here to share his knowledge and his journey of how he shifted from software engineering to actually become a product manager. So, welcome, Kapil. How are you doing today?
Hi, thank you so much, Rahul. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well too.
Yeah, cool. So basically, if I can start from like beginning and stuff. So what happened? Like, I was studying in NITK Surathkal. I got placed from NITK Surathkal in Tesco Bengaluru's office, and I got placed as a software developer.
Right.
And it was really happy moment at that time. Obviously, when somebody does their engineering and when you are placed, you feel like, okay, this is the joyous moment and the achievement that everybody feels. And obviously, I felt the same. And after my final year and everything, I joined Tesco as a software developer at the time. It was really good to join the team. It was a really good team in which I was working there and a very big company. And it was amazing experience to work as a software developer at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And if we talk about like why I did this shift, or basically what
Yeah.
motivated me to did the shift from a software development background to a product management background, the reason behind this was mainly about why and how. So, for example, if I tell you, if somebody gives you a problem statement,
Hmm.
engineering people always think like how we can solve this problem, how
Yeah.
to solve this problem, how to implement the solution,
Yeah.
etc. However, from the beginning, my mindset was always about why are we solving this problem?
Right.
Why is it important to solve the problem? Who are we solving this problem for? So
Mm-hmm.
when I joined my team as a software developer, before I actually started implementing the solutions, etc., my mindset was always about why are we solving this? Who is going to tell me? What is the impact this solution which I'm implementing is going to make for Tesco and the users and the business?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's when I started talking to other peer developers and the team lead, etc. Like, why are we doing this? And then they told like, if you're interested in knowing about why and what, you should be talking to product managers,
Right.
because product managers are the people who define the vision of the product, why we are
Mm.
doing what we are doing, etc., etc. All these things are taken care by product managers. That was the first time I got to know, okay, so this is not something which is related to software development, then it is actually related to product managers.
Right.
And this happened something like within 2 months or 3 months of my job. I started doing this questioning, etc., and getting to know more about product management. And that's when I realized I think I might be better if I shift into a product management. But
Mm.
at that time, it was just 3 months. I just joined as a fresher. I don't
Yeah.
know what's the best direction to go in, and who should I be speaking this to or telling this to, except my manager, who is again a software developer.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know. I don't know how should I go ahead with this. So I was basically in a dubious state at that time.
Right. So, how do you come out of this dilemma, basically?
Yeah, so this dilemma was actually solved when I actually met the product manager of my
Uh-huh.
team at that time in person. So like so what happens in Tesco generally in most of the teams, the engineering team sits in Bengaluru's office and the product management people sits in UK office.
Mm.
So one of the product manager from my UK who used to work in my previous team, she came in to India and I actually met her. And that's for the time I actually met her in person and started talking about this, like, I really like your job, like whatever you're doing, this like you're solving the actual problems, like why are we are doing it, prioritizing this important problem over the other problem, etc. And many other aspects of product management. I
Mm-hmm.
started talking about that with her, and I was very happy that she was also equally interested to talk about that. She was like,
Mm.
she didn't give me any sort of like demotivation. No, you're a developer. You should just concentrate on that work, etc. No,
Right.
instead she was like, it's very good that you are interested in this and you're talking about all of that and you want to know about that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very good thing, which kind of like motivated me. Okay, it is possible to move,
Right.
etc. It is possible for me to think of in that direction instead of just basically confining myself to the software development role.
Yeah.
And so that's how I started. Like, she was the one. She is a senior product manager in our team, so she was the one who gave me those directions. Maybe like she can tell me, okay, start reading about the articles, You can do many online courses. There are so many things which you can do. Obviously, internet has
Mm.
every sort of blogs, medium, courses, etc. for everything. So she's like, just start exploring, do some sort of a reading, and then come back to her again in terms of what did I learn, what did I understand about that role, etc., etc.
Right.
So that's what I started doing sometime in like January or something, or like I would say after 4 to 5 months, I joined Tesco. So
Mm.
that helped me coming out of the dilemma, and I started doing readings, lots of novels, lots of books about product management. And then I actually started thinking, if somebody wants to switch from a developer background to a product manager background,
Hmm.
what sort of interview questions are asked. So a lot of things I actually did. And that was the one which helped me a lot in
Right. Right.
understanding, okay, everything is possible and I can actually do this transition.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned that you use some resources in order to learn more about product management, right? So for those
Yes.
interested, can you tell what those resources were?
Yeah, definitely. So, in order to be a product manager, so I first of all understand what exactly the product management is. And for that, I learned what is product management
Mm.
essentially. So, for that, I read a lot of blogs. So, medium.com
Right.
is a page where you can see a lot of different blogs about product management. I attended some conferences on Product Tank and Mind the Product. So these are some of the online, I would say, channels
Hmm.
that kind of like gives you a lot of blogs about what product management is. And then once you search about one of the blog, it gives you another related blogs also. So you
Yeah.
kind of like links and start reading about other
Yeah. Yeah.
blogs. So that was one of the sources which I used to read about product management.
Hmm.
And another thing was I did an online courses about product designing, etc. And I did one of the free course called Product Design on Udacity.com.
Uh-huh.
So from there, I did one of the courses on product design, which was really, really insightful, gave me a lot detail about what a UX and UI experiences of all these things look like in a product. So
Hmm.
that was pretty useful. Another thing which I did, which is very, very useful, is actually because as a product manager, your main job is to communicate with people, communicate with users, with engineering team, design team, business team, etc. So for that, I was supposed to basically upskill myself in my communication skills, as well as I was supposed to make myself confident enough to be able to steer the conversations based upon the audience who I'm talking to.
Hmm.
So that sort of experience one can only get by actually practicing it. So when I was telling, like I was actually as a developer, but I was reading about all these things. So I actually talked about my product manager, like, can you give me some work? Okay, you're doing this work. Can you divide it? Like, can you give me 30% of your work? I can help you, I can support you. So
Hmm.
that actually gave me like that typical experience, which people call it. And that was really helpful for me to gain those sorts of experiences, which is really required when anybody wants to move into product management.
Right.
Because what I have heard is like, when you apply for a job of product manager, everybody asks you like, do you have an experience? And like, I want to become a product management. How do I become without getting an experience? And then, but
Mhm.
experience is required. It's a typical chicken egg problem. Like, you need to have an experience to be a product manager,
Yeah.
and then how do you get that experience? So
Yeah.
you can get that experience only by actually being an assistant of a current product
Right.
manager,
Right. Right.
or by trying in some startups, or by doing some
Hmm.
internships. So if, in my case, I just started helping that product manager because she's a senior product manager. She had so much of the work to do. So
Yeah.
she's like, okay, that will be really useful if you can help me in some of the tasks. So that's how I gained those experiences.
Right.
And another thing which I did was doing tutorials called Atlassian tutorials.
Hmm.
So Atlassian is actually a company, and they are the one who actually create project management tools. So one of the
Right.
project management tools is like Jira, Trello, etc. These are project management tools.
Hmm.
So they are the ones who have listed down all the things that you need to know about product management, about agile, about Scrum, Kanban, all these terminology which are related to software development world.
Hmm.
So I did those Atlassian tutorials, so those videos and those articles, which were really, really insightful. So I think these much of the learning and those sorts of experiences were really useful for me to gain those experiences, which was required.
All right. Okay. There are some of us wondering what exactly does Tesco do? So can you
Okay.
clarify on that? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So what Tesco is? So Tesco is actually I would say now 101 or 102 years old company. It was founded
Oh,
in 1919. Yeah, it was started in 1919 in UK, and it is a gross it started initially like a supermarket company, like just
mm,
one store sort of thing. As you can see in India, we have Tata store, or we have like
yeah.
big bazaar that sells all these things. So we get to all sorts of things in that bazaar, right? So
Mm,
similarly, Tesco is the one, another UK's biggest retailer,
mm,
where they have so many different kinds of stores across many different cities in UK. And so Tesco's main business is actually about retail management, and like they even sell their own label products. It's not just they are getting the products from other company like Nestle
mm,
or any other stuff. They have their own label products like Tesco
right.
related, Tesco branded food products, Tesco branded clothing products, etc. So
Mm,
Tesco's main business is about creating the products and selling them in the UK, not only in UK, now it is expanded to other countries as well, like in Central Europe, etc., and ROI like Ireland, etc. So it is there in many other countries as well. So its main job is about retail management and being a retailer.
mm. All right. So can you tell us exactly what your job requires you to do, as a
Yeah,
product manager? Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So, but as a product manager, what my job looks like basically, I would say as a product manager, if you are having 5 days in a week, generally everybody works from Monday to Friday. I
Right.
would say no 2 days are same. It's not like same standard job. You will get up and you do these things and over. No,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
would say every alternative day or every other day is different.
Mm-hmm.
And why I say that? Because as a product manager, I would say you are the one who is actually at the center, you are the heart of the team, and you
Mm-hmm.
are the one who have to talk to so many different kinds of the people.
Mm-hmm.
One person who have to talk to is users and understanding what are their pain points, what exactly do they want, or what are the problems that they are facing. So this
Yeah.
is one part of my job, is actually talking to users. Second part of the job is actually talking to Tesco's business leaders, essentially, or the head of the teams, to know about what is the Tesco strategies, what are the Tesco's business objectives, what funding do we have, all those sorts of things. As a product
Mm-hmm.
manager, you need to have those conversations. Third thing, you have to talk to obviously design team, designers, as in UI designers, UX designers, who are the
Mm-hmm.
one who design those interfaces of the different applications and the websites which people use.
Yeah.
And the fourth kind of the people which I have to talk is engineering team or software development people, who are the ones who are actually implementing those applications and those
Mm-hmm.
websites and those technical solutions. And the fifth kind of the people which I have to talk is sales and the marketing people,
Mm-hmm.
who are the ones who are going to actually go into the market and market the product which we are making, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe checking with what is do some market research, give us some insights, what are the thoughts of people about our product, etc. So
Right.
as a product manager, I have to keep myself in sync with
Yeah.
all these six different departments.
Yeah.
So as you can see, the main role is all about communicating
Yeah.
with all five different kinds of the groups and adapting myself to the people I'm talking to. Like if
Yeah.
I'm talking to engineering team, I have to make sure that I understand those technical jargons and I should be able
Mm-hmm.
to respond to them. On the other end, if I'm talking to salespeople, they don't care about what technically how it is built, etc., etc. All they care about like conversion and how many people are using it, etc. So it's
Mm.
about molding myself into the basically steering the conversations based upon the people I'm talking to. So as
Mm.
a product manager, I have to talk to these different kinds of people and do the relevant conversation. Because another example, like as I told, as a user, I have to talk to their problem statements. But when I'm talking to design team, I have to take it to those problem statement design team and see this is the problem. How can we solve it from design perspective? Like how does it look like? Will it
Mm-hmm.
be a form? Will it be a table? Or will it be like there are different ways to implement one thing in a UI format, right?
Right.
One can fill up a form to do the same, or how should the form look like? Should it be a radio button and a button, etc., or is it like a table sort of a format? There can be
Mm.
many different ways in UI. But on the other hand, when I'm talking to engineering team, I'm talking in terms of this is how designers have proposed. Is it even
Mm.
feasible to implement it? And if it is feasible, how big or small is this piece of work? All those sorts of things I have to talk. So that's why I'm saying from Monday to Friday, my day is very much filled with different kinds of
Yeah.
meeting with all different kinds of people. And I
Yeah.
actually have to do those preparations to make sure that I'm ready to conduct the different kinds of meeting which I have to
Yeah.
do across the week.
This job role actually sounds very exciting. You're interacting with so many people and you're also learning a lot about every domain. With
Yes,
the people that you're
exactly.
interacting with. So what is vital for this role is actually communication skills. So how did you actually improve your communication skills?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. I would say I'm still improving my communication skills because as a product manager, if I have to talk to 5 different departments,
Mm.
for me, because I switched from a software development background to a product management, I'm very much comfortable in talking to engineering team and technical team. Like, oh,
Mm.
I can just nail those conversations because I can understand their lingo and language and can respond to them.
Yeah.
However, if I have to talk to like business team and I have like then they talk about those profits, then they talk about those numbers and revenue, and I don't have any commerce background, etc. That's where I struggle a little bit in some
Mm.
ways. So as a product manager, I would say you don't have to be expert in any of these fields, but
Mm.
you need to have basic idea about all these 5 fields.
Right, right.
So I actually looked at when I was actually looking at different blogs. So I actually like how much techie a product manager is, how much marketing knowledge a product manager needs to have, how much design knowledge a product manager
Mm-hmm.
needs to have. I read all those articles and lot many of these blogs on medium.com, and I've been saying about many other like Mind the Product, Product Tech, etc. And so many of those newsletters, and they were very, very helpful in giving me what is required knowledge I need to have. Then I gained those sorts of knowledge, learned those concepts, whatever is required about all 5 different departments. That gave me confidence. Okay, now I can talk to these guys because I understand their language and the terminologies. So
Right.
one thing which is very much required is actually to be able to understand what the guys are saying, what the different team is saying. Another thing which is required is confidence. Like we are not supposed to be speaking in the team and you're not able to engage the audience, then
Mm.
obviously people will feel bored and they won't be interested to listen to you. So
Yeah.
one thing which is very much required here is to be enthusiastic when you are speaking, or maybe very
Mm-hmm.
much positive when you are speaking, and making sure that people are actually listening to you.
Yeah.
So I would say like some of the skills were maybe innate with me. I was born with like enthusiasm sort of a thing. A lot of people in my team also say that like you're very enthusiastic, etc. Maybe that's how I have been. So that was a gift to me, and that is very useful for me when I'm talking to different kinds of people. But on the other hand, in terms of the background knowledge, I actually did sort of these reading articles that helped me gain more confidence to be able to talk to all sorts of people.
Right, right, right.